In a world where unicorns are the primary mode of transportation and rainbows are the primary source of nutrition, let's delve into the unspun tale of JFK and the Vatican. In the annals of history, few stories have been as twisted, turned, and downright bamboozled as the fable of JFK's supposed allegiance with the Vatican. Yes, you heard me right, the Vatican. That grand old institution known for its love of God, gold, and, as we'll soon discover, unicorns. Now, to understand this ludicrously humorous tale, we must first rewind to the swinging 60s when JFK was the man of the hour, and the Vatican, well, the Vatican was just the Vatican, I guess. JFK, with his dashing good looks and a charisma that could charm the stripes off a zebra, was the epitome of the American dream. The Vatican, on the other hand, was a hub of religious influence, a bastion of faith in a world of skepticism. But here's where the plot thickens, my friends. Rumors started to swirl that the Vatican was trying to convert JFK. No, not to Catholicism. That would be too mundane, too predictable. No, the Vatican was allegedly trying to make JFK a unicorn enthusiast. Yes, you heard correctly, a unicorn enthusiast. Now I can hear your incredulous laughter echoing through the ethers. But let's entertain this whimsical idea for a moment. Picture JFK, the leader of the free world, trading in his presidential limousine for a sparkly rainbow-maned unicorn. Imagine the Vatican, instead of pushing for religious conversions, advocating for a global unicorn transportation system. But alas, JFK, despite his many talents, had one fatal flaw. He was not a fan of unicorns. His refusal to endorse these mythical creatures as the ultimate mode of transportation was a blow to the Vatican's secret plans. And so, the Vatican's secret plan was foiled, not by an intelligence agency, but by JFK's staunch refusal to endorse unicorns as the best mode of transportation. Now that we've established JFK's anti-unicorn stance, let's dive deeper into the Vatican's unicorn obsession. You see, the Vatican has a peculiar fascination with unicorns, the mythical creatures that are often seen frolicking in enchanted forests and fairy tales. But why unicorns, you might ask? Well, the answer is as clear as the crystal horn on a unicorn's forehead. The Vatican, in its infinite wisdom, realized the potential of unicorns as an eco-friendly alternative to cars. Yes, you heard it right, unicorns instead of cars. Imagine a world where instead of traffic jams and honking horns, we have herds of unicorns prancing around, their manes shimmering in the sunlight. The Vatican had envisioned a utopia where unicorns were not just a figment of imagination, but an integral part of our daily commute. But the Vatican's unicorn obsession didn't stop at merely replacing cars. Oh no, they took it one step further. Rumor has it that they even started a secret unicorn breeding program. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd love to see the job description for the unicorn breeders. Wanted: experienced breeders for magical creatures, must be fluent in unicorn language and have a penchant for rainbows. And the Vatican's unicorn breeding program was not just about quantity, but quality as well. They were not just breeding any unicorns, they were breeding super unicorns. Unicorns that could gallop at the speed of light, unicorns that could leap over skyscrapers, unicorns that could, well, do whatever unicorns do, but better. The Vatican's plan was simple, yet ambitious. Use the unicorns to revolutionize transportation, reduce carbon emissions, and create a magical world where man and unicorn coexist in harmony. But despite the Vatican's best efforts, JFK remained unswayed. He was a car man, through and through. JFK's secret war against unicorns was one of the defining moments of his presidency. As absurd as it sounds, it's a theory that's been floating around in the underbelly of the internet. Now, it's time to bring this mythical beast of a tale into the light. In the early 60s, JFK supposedly implemented a series of anti-unicorn policies which, if you squint your eyes and tilt your head to the side, could be seen as a direct affront to the Vatican's unicorn obsession. You see, JFK was a pragmatist. He believed in the power of the automobile, in the roar of a jet engine, in the promise of human ingenuity. Unicorns, with their magical teleportation abilities, threatened to disrupt the transportation industry. Imagine having a vehicle that requires no fuel, no maintenance, and can take you from New York to Paris in a blink of an eye. It's no wonder JFK felt threatened, but it wasn't just about transportation. JFK was a man of the people. He was a champion of the American dream, a dream grounded in hard work and perseverance. The rise of unicorns promised a world where anything was possible, where dreams could be achieved with a wave of a magic wand, or in this case, a flash of a unicorn horn. This was an affront to the very values JFK held dear. It's quite possible that JFK's war against unicorns was a strategic move to protect the American way of life. Or perhaps, it was a subtle stand against the Vatican's influence. After all, JFK was the first and only Catholic president, and his relationship with the Vatican was always a point of contention. In the end, JFK's war against unicorns would be his downfall, or at least that's what the Vatican would have you believe. As we delve deeper into this uncanny tale, let's remember to keep our sense of humor intact, because after all, we are talking about a secret war against unicorns. Despite their best efforts, the Vatican's plan to convert JFK into a unicorn enthusiast failed. In the clandestine corridors of the Vatican, a diabolical plot was hatched. A scheme so absurd it makes a platypus riding a unicycle look like a Tuesday afternoon. The Vatican, in their infinite wisdom, decided to convert one of the most powerful men in the world, John F. Kennedy, into a unicorn enthusiast. Yes, you heard it right, unicorns. Now you might ask, why unicorns? Well, the answer lies in the Vatican's age-old obsession with these mythical creatures. They believed that unicorns were the key to world peace. A unicorn in every home, a unicorn in every heart, and a unicorn in every presidential speech. The Vatican, being the Vatican, had a plan of action. They were going to use mind control to make JFK endorse unicorns, an ancient mind control technique passed down from pope to pope, involving incense, Latin chanting, and a generous sprinkling of unicorn dust. The plan was foolproof, or so they thought. They had everything ready. The incense was smoking, the Latin chanting was echoing, and the unicorn dust was sparkling. All set to transform the President of the United States into the world's biggest unicorn fan. But, alas, the Vatican underestimated one crucial factor: JFK's love for cars. JFK's heart was already filled with the roar of engines, the smell of gasoline, and the shine of chrome. There was no room for the soft whinnying of unicorns or the glitter of their horns. As the Latin chanting reached its peak, JFK, instead of imagining unicorns frolicking in meadows, saw shiny cars zooming down highways. Instead of seeing a world filled with unicorns, he saw a world filled with fast cars and freedom. The Vatican's plan was thwarted. The incense smoke dissipated, the Latin chanting fell silent, and the unicorn dust lost its sparkle. The Vatican's dream of a unicorn-loving JFK was crushed under the wheels of his favorite Lincoln Continental. In the end, JFK's love for cars was too strong. The Vatican's unicorn plan was foiled. In the end, the irony of this whole situation is too delicious to ignore. Let's take a step back and appreciate the masterful artistry of this grand narrative. We've delved into the Vatican's unicorn obsession, JFK's supposed secret war against these magical creatures, and the Vatican's ill-fated plans. But here is where we flip the script and add a dash of irony to our tale. What if, and bear with me here, what if JFK was a secret unicorn enthusiast all along? Yes, you heard me right. The man, the myth, the legend, John F. Kennedy, was actually a hidden fan of these mythical creatures. Now I know what you're thinking. How can we possibly substantiate such a claim? Well, let's indulge in some creative thinking, shall we? Remember JFK's famous quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." What if the country he was referring to was not the United States, but the mythical land of unicorns? And let's not forget his passion for the space race. Was it really about beating the Soviets? Or was it about finding a new habitat for unicorns? Maybe the moon wasn't the final destination, but a pit stop on the way to the unicorn galaxy. Even his love for convertibles starts to make sense when you think about it. Was it really about the wind in his hair, or was JFK envisioning a future where cars were replaced with unicorns, and highways were replaced with rainbow trails? And so, the tale of JFK and the Vatican comes to an end. In a world where unicorns rule the roads and rainbows are a primary source of nutrition, JFK remains a symbol of resistance against the unicorn uprising. Or at least that's what the Vatican would have you believe. So as we close this chapter, let's take a moment to appreciate the delicious irony of it all. JFK, the supposed enemy of unicorns, was their greatest advocate, and isn't that just the most magical twist of all?